actress Emma Watson once stated, "If you're anything other than an extrovert, you're made to think there's something wrong with you." I think this is now the opposite. And after scouring articles supposedly debunking myths, but in actuality tearing down extroverts while continually building up introverts, I finally found one article from Fast Company that put into words what I had been thinking. I'm gonna have to look down at my computer because I want to read this to you and get it right. Extroverts often get a bad rap. While much attention has been paid to the plight of introverts in a loud, hyper-stimulated world, the unspoken corollary is that it's the fault of the extroverts. Frankly, extroverts just seem to be getting a lot of blame, and it's not really fair. So today I want to debunk some of the myths around extroverts to hopefully help us be better understood and stop getting such a bad rap. Welcome to the Creating Opportunities podcast. This is the place for smart, ambitious professionals to learn how to build authentic relationships to gain success in all areas of their lives, and that includes with extroverts. I am your host, Cassandra. I am a speaker, a trainer, an iced coffee lover, and I want to help you make deeper connections. Okay, so before we begin, let's just start with the blanket statement that both extroverts and introverts have very strong strengths and weaknesses, but we're going to focus on strengths, and both are needed in this world. And as I said in the intro, interestingly, research just seems to be painting extroverts only in a bad light. But I want to make sure that in debunking these myths, please know I am not saying introverts are the problem, okay? That was my issue with a lot of these articles is they're going, introverts, you're not the problem, extroverts are. That's not what we're doing here today. We're going to debunk myths while not tearing down an introvert. So there is no comparison needed. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because this all started with a call I had during my 30 people in 30 days. One of the people I talked to, very much an introvert, admitted that and talked about how for her it is harder to go to events and that she's just so drained after, like, oh, after conferences, I'm so drained. And she said, I bet you're probably just so energized. And I told her, no, I sit on a couch comatose for 2 days after a conference. And her jaw literally dropped. She was like, what? Are you serious? Yes, because we all only have so much energy. So that conversation just made me get started thinking on like, I think there's a lot of things about extroverts that are just misunderstood. So let's get into them. So interestingly, extroversion versus introversion is actually about how much stimulation you can handle, not how much energy you have. Now, I've talked about the energy thing in another video. I think there is some crossover, like stimulation turns into where you get energy from, but it's not solely about where you get energy from. So it's about how much stimulation you can handle. I think that actually kind of goes to why extroverts like to just be around people. They don't have to be all the time the center of attention, but like if I'm at home too long with no stimulation, then it depletes my energy. But if I go to a coffee shop and work for a couple hours, even if I didn't talk to anyone, I feel more energized because I was around stimulation, right? So I think that's how the two work together and why we end up often talking about energy instead of stimulation. But I guess technically in my research I learned extroversion versus introversion is about how much stimulation you can handle, not where you get energy from. And yes, there is some correlation of introverts are more shy and quiet, extroverts are louder and more talkative and outgoing, but it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, so that idea of energy depletion, that is the first thing we gotta just debunk. Extroverts do get tired after being around people. So everyone has a level of energy depletion. Like I said, me at the beginning of a conference, I am excited. I can't wait to talk to people. But by that last morning, I can't wait to get in my car and go. And I am physically drained. I remember there was one conference I went to that was just a one-day conference, but it was hyped. You were talking to people and going to things and meeting new people and in conversations from 8 a.m. to like 9 p.m. The next day, I was physically exhausted, like on a couch, spent. I felt so bad for the people who had to get on planes that day because I don't think I would have had the energy to get through the airport and make it on a plane. And I know that's not just me. I've talked to extrovert friends about this too. We all have levels of energy depletion. So the next myth that we got to debunk, extroverts are so talkative, they must be shallow. Okay. Y'all, this one is so hard and it hits me personally. So extroverts tend to be external processors. We're talking because we're trying to think it out loud. If I'm trying to think about something just in my head, it becomes a jumbled mess. But by speaking it out is how I'm thinking it through and coming to realizations and connecting points. This was a really big issue for me when I was in grad school. I was in a cohort-based program of 13 people, and the whole point of the program of a cohort is you learn from each other and you share from each other. Well, 10 of the people were introvert external processors. No, 11 of the people. Myself and one other girl were the extroverts, and they thought we were ditzy as all get out because we would talk things out and we might ramble a little bit getting to our point. But they were frustrating to us because they just sit there and not share out. It was like, I need you to share your thoughts so that we can learn from each other, right? And so please just know, like, there was a lot of judgment in those 2 years for me because people just assumed I was being ditzy because I had to share things out loud. But I'm an external processor. Extroverts tend to be external processors. We're not shallow. I would love to talk about deep philosophical issues with you, but we're gonna probably talk more because we're processing our thoughts that way. There is a method to our madness, essentially. Another that gets told a lot is extroverts are bad listeners. Because we're talkers, people think we're bad listeners. We can actually be amazing listeners because we're really great at listening and asking a question and drawing people out. We don't have to be the center of attention. We just like stimulation. We like being in conversations and around people. And so I am totally fine asking you another question and hearing you give an answer than me talking the whole time. Okay, this last one is a big one, and I have heard this before. Extroverts want to change introverts. Not true. Now, I will say in that grad school situation, I wish a couple of them had spoken up more, but there is value in both. And I think I can speak for most extroverts when I say no one has some desire to change the other person. I have no desire to change an introvert into an extrovert. You are who you are. I think really we all just want to be better understood and appreciated for what we bring to the table. Not downplay because, oh, there they are again talking, or oh, they're so outgoing. Well, I have strengths. Extroverts have strengths that you like us at a party. You like us at a dinner conversation because we keep it going and we'll ask more questions. So value us, but we're not trying to change you. And as I said at the beginning of this, we don't need to compare or see one as superior over the other. I think we all just want to be known and understood and appreciated for what we bring to the table. So let me know in the comments, what are some myths you want to debunk about whatever side you're on, whether you're an introvert and there's something that always gets said about you that's not true, or an extrovert, something that I didn't mention that you think isn't true. Put those in the comments. Let's have a discussion about this. If you're listening to the audio only of this, put it in the comments of my Instagram post on this episode. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you are an introvert, I do have a video for you solely around how to network to your strengths. No one said you have to go pass business cards in a room of 300 people, so you can go check that video out here, and I'll see you over there or see you in the next one. Bye.